Good morning, Western Slope. Happy Wednesday. I'm Dalen Brazelton. Let's talk about your weather. Folks, we got a lovely one expected for today all across the Western Slope, although we are still seeing those very high wind speeds in the Central Mountains, so some warnings have been extended. Taking a look behind me on America's Mattress Live Tower Cam, we're seeing a little jet take off from GJT right now, and we're still waiting for that sun to rise, but believe me folks, when it does, it's going to be a lovely one for today. Still expecting dry conditions all across western Colorado, no snow forecasted, and then sunny skies is the plan for the day. Then of course, like we mentioned, that wind, well, it is ripping through central Colorado. We're waking up just above freezing in Grand Junction. Same goes for Paonia and Nucla Glade Park in those mid-30s, and then Delta Montrose on either side of the 20s to kick off the day. Seeing some cooler conditions down there, but other than that, everything else pretty consistent so far to start off the day. For that classroom forecast, that first bell's ringing to 33 degrees and mostly clear conditions. We're going to see a very mild start to the day, and then as we head into the afternoon itself, increasing about 20 degrees into those low 50s. This is the first time we've seen 50 degrees all month long. The last time was November 30th, and so we're seeing that head our way around noon, push into the low 50s for the rest of the afternoon, and then of course that sun starts to set and we start to see a pretty stark decrease in temperature. But the morning hours shaping up to be nice as well, barely dipping below freezing around 7 a.m. and then starting that increase from there. So we got some clear conditions expected. For that Cozy Cat forecast, we got Sylvie hanging out with us. Fun fact, Sylvie was actually a member of the pet rescue crew. This is not a fun little tidbit of information. We got mostly clear skies expected, Wind speeds not going to be too crazy, a little bit less than yesterday, 7 miles an hour at 7 a.m. and then slowly dying down over the course of the afternoon. Those wind speeds are pretty wild, but we aren't seeing any other weather pushing in. An atmospheric river bringing a lot of moisture to the Pacific Northwest, and that slowly starts to make its way down into some other states, but not Colorado. Maybe a light dusting in the most northern of the mountains. That's pretty much all we're expecting. Other than that, snow potential pretty minimal across the Centennial State. But that wind, well, that is definitely not the case here. We're seeing some pretty high wind speeds all around the Central Mountains, Summit County, a little bit east and all north of that as well. So if you're doing any traveling to the Front Range, just keep in mind, we're seeing some pretty crazy wind speeds. For example, take a look at this here. Everything in this purple area, that 95 mile an hour wind speeds we can see up to, and then the red is about 60 plus miles an hour. So even if you're not in the highest elevations of the Rockies, well, it's pretty crazy over there. Tomorrow, we're going to start to see that die down a little bit, but still seeing some pretty significant wind speeds for those Central Mountains, especially near the Front Range. So this is officially set to expire tomorrow at 11 a.m., but honestly, we'll see if that doesn't get extended maybe a day further based off of all the crazy wind conditions that we've been seeing around the region, because there's been a lot going on around the region here, and of course Grand Junction seeing some lovely conditions. In the meantime, hanging out in those single digits, and that seems to be the case all morning long. As we take a look ahead of that Discovery Auto Group 7-day forecast, we are seeing the first 50s of the month. It's going to be mid-50s for the rest of the week, and then mostly clear conditions. Same goes for Montrose. Mostly clear, no real chances of snowfall. Broncos playing on Sunday. Overnight lows, a little bit chillier though. Upper 20s expected for the region, but it's still going to be a phenomenal rest of the week here on the Western Slope.